Welcome inside the Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. I'm Mauro Ranallo. He is Paulie Malignaggi. Soon we'll be joined by Steve Farhood. It is the official weigh-in for the triple header coming your way Saturday night on Showtime Championship Boxing, live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Adrien Broner, the former 4-division champion, tries to avoid the first two-fight losing streak of his career against former 2-division champion Jessie Vargas at a contract weight of 144 pounds. It'll be Jamal Charlo, Hugo Centeno looking to make major money moves at middleweight when they face off, and Gervonta Davis, who lost his 130-pound title on the scales in his last fight, well, he looks to pick up another piece of that 130-pound crown against former featherweight champion Jesus Cuellar. But right now, we are set for the official weigh-in, and without further ado, let's toss it to the dulcet tones of Hall of Fame ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Test.
All right, you guys are clear on video. Your audio is still hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to Barclays Center here in Brooklyn, New York, as Premier Boxing Champions presents the official weigh-in for our big night of action coming your way, taking place tomorrow night right here at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. It's all brought to you by Mayweather Promotions, along with DeBella Entertainment, TGB Promotions, and Showtime. Sponsored by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach, and Casa Noble Tequila, the Noble Pursuit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our opening attraction on Showtime Championship Boxing is 12 rounds of action for the WBA Featherweight Championship of the World. Please welcome the fighters as they make their way to the stage at this time. First, from Buenos Aires, Argentina, he is ranked the WBA #1 super featherweight. Please welcome the former WBA featherweight champion of the world, Jesus Cuellar. And now we invite to the stage at this time his opponent from Baltimore, Maryland. He's ranked the WBA #3 super featherweight contender, the former IBF junior lightweight champion of the world, the hard-hitting and undefeated Gervonta "Tank" Davis. And as our fighters are preparing to step onto the scale, we bring to your attention, once again, this is for the WBA Super Featherweight World title. 130 pounds is the weight limit. We will invite our guest from Argentina to the scale first. He is the WBA top contender. He is the former world champion. Please welcome to the scale at this time, Jesus Cuellar.
Cuellar moving up to 130 pounds for the first time in nearly a decade, coming off a split decision loss to Abner Mares, where Cuellar lost his 126-pound title. Needs to make the 130-pound limit.
129.25 pounds for Jesus Cuellar, 129.25. And now his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, young boxing phenom from Baltimore, former world champion, 19-0 with 18 knockouts, Gervonta "Tank" Davis. 129 pounds even for Gervonta Davis, 129 pounds.
So Davis, after losing his title on the scales against Francisco Fonseca on the Mayweather-McGregor undercard by 2 pounds, comes in under for this opportunity at picking up another piece of that 130-pound title.
And that's something to keep in mind, his level of concentration, his level of focus.
New trainer with Kevin Cunningham in Florida, along with Adrien Broner.
This is what you want to see out of a fighter who's this talented. You know, you also want to see the dedication so that, you know, everything can come together and the pieces the full puzzle can come together, and you can see him maximize all the talent that he has.
Davis wants to be the next pay-per-view star, has all the tools, but has had outside of the ring problems just like Adrien Broner, and that's why they wanted more structure. They wanted more discipline, more focus, and he got away from the distractions of his hometown of Baltimore, and both he and Cuellar coming in under the 130-pound limit, so they will be facing off now, and they will be facing off in the ring Saturday night for a piece of that super featherweight title. Both of them are southpaws.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it opens up our Showtime Championship Boxing program, WBA Super Featherweight World Championship. Gervonta Tank Davis, undefeated young former champion against the very crafty veteran Jesus Cuellar from Argentina.
Davis versus Cuellar kicks off the triple header Saturday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific, on Showtime Championship Boxing from the new mecca of the sweet science here in the East, the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Davis coming off an 8-month layoff, the longest of his professional career.
Jesus Cuellar, you're coming off a layoff, and you're fighting in a new weight class. Why is he so confident that he can beat Gervonta Davis? Manny Robles, his trainer, will translate.
Thank you. Jesús Cuellar, vienes de un descanso, vienes de un tiempo sin pelear, ahora subes a las 130 libras. ¿Por qué te sientes tú tan seguro de ganar esta pelea?
Me siento muy bien porque vine a hacer un buen campamento ya hace meses y nada, porque quiero ser de vuelta campeón del mundo.
I feel very well. I had a great camp and nothing. I mean, I feel very sure of myself and I will become a world champion.
Gervonta Davis is all about quickness and speed. What does Jesus have to do to counter that and to win this fight?
Tu rival es un peleador rápido. ¿Tú qué vas a hacer para contrarrestar esas características de tu rival?
He trabajado muy bien en el gimnasio y he potenciado mi boxeo y mi velocidad, así que vamos a explotarlo ese día.
I had a great camp, and we've done everything necessary to face his speed, face his power, and we'll show that on come Saturday night.
We wish you luck. Good luck.
Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Manny. We'll bring in Gervonta.
Cuellar working with his 10th trainer in Manny Robles. Cuellar sitting under a veritable forest of learning
Gervonta
trees.
Davis, last time we saw you at a weigh-in, it wasn't the same feeling here. You were 132. You had to give up your title. Tonight, 129. Is that the sweetest sound you ever heard when you heard 129?
Amazing. You know, I had a great camp. When I'm focused, you know, a focused tank is a dangerous tank, so I'm ready.
When we had our fighter meeting earlier today with the Showtime announcers, you kept using that word focus. You have a new trainer, Kevin Cunningham. What has allowed you to regain your focus, and how will that affect your performance in the ring?
Moving my camp from Baltimore to Florida, you know, I ain't had no distractions, you know, just waking up boxing and going to sleep boxing, you know, and I knew what I was coming to do. When I woke up in the morning, and I'm ready.
Well, you only have one more day to wait, so good luck to you. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Gervonta.
Over the last 30 years, more than 30 champs have lost their titles on the scales. Of those 30, only 3
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we
regained
continue
a title
with
in the
our
same
official
division.
weigh-ins. This time we
That's what
present
Davis
our
is trying to
second
do.
attraction on Showtime Championship Boxing, the official weigh-in for the interim WBC middleweight world title. Please welcome at this time to the stage, from Oxnard, California, his record is 26 wins, 1 loss, 1 no decision, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked number 4 middleweight in the world by the WBC, please welcome Hugo the Boss Centeno Jr.
The first scheduled 12-rounder for Hugo Centeno
And now
Jr.
we invite to the stage his opponent from Houston, Texas, the undefeated WBC #1 middleweight contender and the former IBF junior middleweight world champion, Jermall Charlo, excuse me. Check that. Jermall, the future of boxing, Charlo.
Well, was supposed to take
And now
place March
first to the
3rd.
scale, ladies and gentlemen, for this interim title, we're weighing in at 160-pound weight limit. First, with a record of 26 wins in his 28 professional bouts, the WBC #4 ranked contender, Hugo the Boss Centeno Jr.
A Centeno Jr. rib injury delayed the fight, but he says he's 100% ready.
158.5 pounds for Hugo Centeno Jr., 158 pounds.
Well under the
And now,
160-pound
ladies and
limit.
gentlemen, his opponent, not to be confused with another great former champion. He's WBC's top middleweight contender, one of boxing's sensational fighting twins, known as the future of boxing, the undefeated Jermall Charlo.
Former champion of 154.
He weighs in right at the middleweight limit of 160 pounds. 160 pounds for Jermall Charlo. Well, we'll have our fighters suit up. We'll have a photo opportunity. Then we'll hear from Steve Farhood with a couple of interview questions for both of these fighters. Once again, for the interim WBC Middleweight World Championship.
In Charlo's debut at 160, became the first person to stop Jorge Hayland via fourth-round TKO.
Hyland in that fight was perceived to be injured.
He injured himself in the first round.
Or maybe he came in injured. We'll never know, right?
Never know. Centeno ready for the face-off. Man who's fought with a lot of pride over the years, working with the body snatcher, Mike McCullum, the former 3-division champion. This is the second fight under the McCullum learning tree. Or make that, sorry, that's Jessie Vargas. See, I had to do with Jimmy Lennon Jr. there. I make Jimmy feel a little bit better.
Yeah, Hugo Centeno works with Eric Brown.
That's right, who you know very well.
Yes.
So what does Eric Brown bring to a fighter like Centeno Jr.?
Oh, you know, it's tactics, reminders of executing the proper game plan, you know, and he's confident. Eric's the kind of guy, he breeds confidence and he'll make you confident, you know. And obviously the hard work he puts into the gym in working with you makes you want to work hard for him as well.
So both Charlo and Centeno Jr. coming in tip-top physical shape. And, of course, Charlo just his second fight at 160 pounds. Of course, Charlo's identical twin brother, older by a minute, Jermall Charlo, a current
There they are,
champion
ladies and gentlemen, the interim WBC Middleweight World Champion, Jermall Charlo, Hugo the Boss Centeno Jr.
So that is the second of our triple headers. Saturday night again, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Jermall Charlo, Hugo Centeno Jr. looking to move into pole position for an opportunity at a 160-pound championship.
Hugo Centeno Jr., your last fight, probably the best win of your career, a one-punch knockout. What did that fight against Emmanuel Alim do for your confidence?
You know what? Besides my confidence, I feel like it catapulted me back to the top, you know, with all the best stars and the top 5 in the middleweight division. So, you know, my confidence is through the roof, and I feel like I could do that to anybody.
You're the tallest opponent Jermall Charlo has ever faced. Are we going to be looking for a fight in ring center from you, or are you going to be looking for that one-punch knockout again?
You know, honestly, whatever opportunity presents itself, I'll take it. Whether it's a fight or a chess match, we'll make it happen. I'm going to switch it up, mix in a little bit of both, and give the fans what they want.
I saw you were smiling at Jermall Charlo's comments over here. Do you feel like sometimes you're fighting two Charlo brothers?
No, not really. If I have to, I'll fight both of them. But, you know, I focus on the task at hand. I know these little mind games and how they play. And, you know, if it's not him, it's his brother or vice versa. So, you know, I know what it is. At the end of the day, it's me and his brother, not me and the other Charlo.
We wish you luck. Good luck.
Sir.
Thanks, Hugo. We'll get Jermall in here.
Jermall Charlo, trained by Ronnie Shields.
Jermall, we're just going to ask you one question.
Okay, one?
Only one.
Okay.
At the fighter meetings, you told us this fight was originally planned for March.
Yeah.
It got canceled when Hugo had an injury. And you said you were very frustrated. You're going to try to take that frustration out on him tomorrow night?
No, I was just frustrated at the moment. This time I'm having fun. So, look, hey, turn up, Brooklyn.
That's it. One question. Good luck.
All right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you.
So it will be Jermall Charlo, Hugo Centeno Jr. squaring off, scheduled 12-rounder. Pivotal fight at 160 pounds. Refused to use the word that starts with an I and ends with an M.
Well, fans, here we go. From Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, we are ready. As Premier Boxing Champions presents the official weigh-in for the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing in a catchweight 144-pound special attraction. And it's all brought to you by Mayweather Promotions, DeBella Entertainment, TGB Promotions, and Showtime, sponsored by Corona, who invites you to find your beach, and Casa Noble Tequila, the noble pursuit. At this time, we welcome our fighters to the stage. First, ladies and gentlemen, from Las Vegas, Nevada, he is the WBC and WBA #3 ranked welterweight in the world. Please welcome the former two-division world champion, boxing's pride of Las Vegas, Jessie Vargas. And we invite his opponent to the stage at this time, known around the world from Cincinnati, Ohio. He is the WBC #4 ranked super lightweight world contender. Please welcome the former four-division world champion, Adrien, the Problem Broner. And the fighters are almost ready to step onto the scale. We invite them at this time to do so. Once again, 144-pound catch weight limit on this fight. First, we invite to the scale a young veteran of 5 world title appearances. He is the former two-weight division world champion, once again known as the pride of Las Vegas, Jessie Vargas.
Vargas 28-2 with 10 wins inside the distance. Only 2 losses come against Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley. Smile says it all.
143 3/4 pounds. 143 3/4 pounds for Jessie Vargas. And now, ladies and gentlemen, onto the scale with 7 knockouts in his 9 world title appearances. Here is the colorful former 4-division world champion, Adrien the Problem Broner. We have 144.2 pounds. 144.2 pounds for Adrien Broner. So the weight limit on this fight is 144 pounds. Adrien Broner slightly over, 0.2 pounds over. He's going to try again. Hold up a towel, remove his shorts, see if he makes that 144-pound weight limit.
Never a dull moment when it comes to Adrien Broner, right, Paulie? Contract weight
144 pounds for Adrien Broner. The fight is on.
Makes the weight.
Makes the weight. But is it the right weight for Adrien Broner? Many pundits, many fans believe he is best at 135, and when he has jumped up in weight and actually faced the toughest opponents, the elite opposition, he has come up short against Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Marcos Maidana. In order to be elite, you have to beat the elite, right, Paulie?
Yeah, of course. I don't know that he can make 135 anymore, and that's the thing.
Well,
you know,
it's
sometimes
hard to make this weight.
At the bigger weight, you find a more difficult time. Because you're dealing with just as much talent, but now you're also dealing with the natural physicality of those guys. So,
but it's Groundhog Day when it comes to Adrien Broner. Every fighter meeting, he says the same thing. I'm focused now. I'm rededicated. You're going to see a much different Adrien Broner, and then we see what we saw against Mikey Garcia, where we know Broner has all the skills, all the talents. He needs to throw more punches.
Well, we'll see this fight.
Adrien the Problem Broner, Jessie Vargas, 144-pound catchweight fight. Facing off now for the final time before they meet each other tomorrow night, the main event on Showtime.
Vargas replacing the injured Omar Figueroa, much different style fighter. Figueroa, a pressure fighter. Vargas known for boxing on his back foot, and some camaraderie on the stage between Broner and Vargas.
Yeah, but with Broner, it's always tongue-in-cheek. So you never know if they're smiling at each other but talking trash, or if they're just smiling at each other because they're being respectful.
Well, he needs to get serious about his career if he wants to remain. And that's the thing. Despite his setbacks, despite all the issues he's had inside and outside of the ring. He remains a huge draw here. The ticket sales are robust for the event on Saturday night here at Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
I'll tell you what, though.
Jesse Vargas,
Talking
when
about,
you
we'll
saw
talk
that you
after.
made weight, you smiled and you did a fist pump. So were you relieved? Were you expecting maybe you wouldn't make weight?
No, never. I've never missed weight, and this wasn't going to be any different. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and the minute that I saw it hit 144 or 143.8, I was excited because now I could, rehydrate, and I'm looking forward to this fight. All the workload, all the hard work is done. Now all I got to do is have fun Saturday night, enjoy myself, entertain my fans, and it's going to be a lovely night.
Fighting Adrien Broner isn't quite like fighting anybody else, at least until the fight. How have you handled the distractions, the antics, and everything else, and all the words?
You know what? I have a good team behind me, and I know it. That helps me maintain focus in training camp. Anything that comes out from anyone else, it doesn't matter. As long as my team is on track, which they have, Mike McCullen, my father, Jose Vargas, David Levy, Jessica Vargas,
and we're starting on the wide, right?
my nutritionist that helped me make weight. They all were on board. We're only on one path, which is positive going forward. And because of that, you can't really base yourself on any negativity. You can't put any thought to it or mind to it. And we just stayed focused. So it.
AB, you want me to touch your back?
Don't touch.
I won't touch you. We know that your pants weigh, your underpants weigh 2 ounces.
Now y'all know.
Now we all know. The beard was next if you didn't make weight,
You got jokes today, all right. Got jokes today, Jim. Okay.
All right, let's get serious.
That's classic.
You have a newfound focus. You have a new trainer. You had a great camp. Explain how that focus is going to manifest itself in the ring.
We had a hell of a camp. It's very different. It's my first time doing a full camp for one of my fights with Uncle Kev is what I call him. Well, Coach Kevin Cunningham, what you know him as. And, it was very militant, but we got through it.
Is there a sense of urgency that maybe wasn't there in the past, or is more urgency this time than in the past?
It was always there. It's just, something that had to be brought back out of Adrien Broner. And tomorrow night, I will be victorious, and I'm going to put on a great show.
We look forward to it. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
Steve Farhood's got jokes, but no joking
Well, ladies
matter
and gentlemen, from
on
here at
Saturday
Barclays
night
Center
for
in Brooklyn,
Adrien
that
Broner.
concludes our official weigh-in for our big triple header taking place tomorrow night. Bring to your attention, doors open at 5 p.m. First fight soon after that, right at 5 p.m. A full night of action coming your way. We go on live on Showtime, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and we'll see you then. Good afternoon, everyone.
All right, Jimmy Lennon Jr., thank you very much. Back here, joined by Paulie Malignaggi and also Mr. Steve Farhood, the man with the jokes. According to, we're gonna get you set up there. My bad. And Paulie, let's start with you. You've been in the ring with Adrien Broner at Barclays Center, a hotly contested, razor-thin decision. What is it about Adrien Broner that makes him such a compelling figure as a boxer?
Well, first off, he's a great fighter. I mean, he's regardless of what you think about him, he can't fight, and he's a fighter on a world-class level. But controversy. He's always controversial. He's always generates opinions, and maybe they're not always positive, but he's a controversial figure in boxing. He's a controversial figure in sports and entertainment, and people talk about him.
Steve, Broner's going to try to avoid the first 2-fight losing streak of his career against Mikey Garcia, and we've talked about it. He's only lost against the elite, but as I mentioned to Paulie, in order to be the elite, you have to beat that level of opposition. And against Mikey Garcia, it seemed to be the same old story. He's just not throwing enough punches. He looked listless, unfocused, and that has been the operative word. But how long can a guy cry wolf?
Well, I think the change in trainer is a big plus. He was stale. He was stagnant with Mike Stafford. He said Mike was like a friend to him. Well, you don't want your trainer to be a friend. You want
and Cunningham is anything but.
Exactly.
Strict.
A former police officer and a tough guy. We know his history. And I think that this is really a key fight for Broner, because if he doesn't turn it around tomorrow night with the new trainer and the new focus, then when is he going to turn it around?
What do you want to see out of AB Saturday night in terms of what he does when the bell goes?
I think you just need to see consistency. You know, Jessie Vargas has been a guy who has shown consistency in his career as far as his fighting style. You know, he's a guy who's going to make Adrien fight all 3 minutes. And if Adrien Broner doesn't fight all 3 minutes against Jessie Vargas will take advantage of that. You know, he's talented enough to take advantage of it, and he's talented enough to make him pay for that. So I think if you're going to see an improved AB, that's kind of been the repetitive problem he's had, is that I wouldn't say he's distracted, but, you know, he looks to conserve energy and then try to let it go in big spots. Conserve energy and look to let it go in big spots. But he's taking too much time doing the conserving. He's got to kind of spread it out a little better and probably throw some more punches, or at least give us the illusion that he's going to be a bit busier.
Quintessential crossroads fight for both guys. Vargas, his only 2 losses against Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao. What does he have to do to record the upset? Or is it an upset? There depends on who you're looking at. He's even a favorite in some circles.
Yeah. Vargas is a razor-thin favorite with the odds. But I think an important point for either guy, whoever wins this fight, let's not forget, this is still the best division in boxing, the hottest division in boxing. And a win like this, a high-profile win on Showtime, obviously will elevate you to another big fight. You can't say that necessarily in every other division, but because the welterweight division is so stacked with fighters that these guys can fight, that makes this fight even more important.
And at this level, must win for all involved. Adrien Broner and Jessie Vargas will go at it in our 12-round main event scheduled for 12. Now, the co-feature, we have a fight at 160 pounds, guys, where Jermall Charlo, proving in his first fight anyway at 160, he brought up that vaunted power from 154. First guy to stop Jorge Hayland against Hugo Centeno Jr. What's the key in order for Charlo to remain successful and move into a much bigger fight at 160?
Yeah, well, Charlo clearly wants the bigger fights at 160, and this is a stepping stone for that. Charlo stopped 18 of his last 20 opponents. The guy can punch. I think we know that. He has a great jab. He can box. We don't know what the ceiling is yet. That's one of the reasons I like to see him fight so much, but his brother as well. They keep wowing us with not one-punch knockouts and good performances. What's the ceiling for these guys? And the beauty of Jermall is that he's a middleweight, and we know who is at the top of the middleweight division. We want to see those fights.
Paulie, what about Centeno Jr.? What does he bring to this matchup?
Well, he's a good textbook boxer. He fights out of both stances, and you know, he's brought some good power himself. You know, he's got a couple of highlight reel knockouts in his own right. I think the key for Centeno is not to let the moment get the best of him. This is the biggest moment of his career. This is his time to shine. As far as, you know, he will be judged on this performance more so than he's been judged on any other performance. If he comes up short here and he doesn't look good, he goes back to the level that he's been fighting at, which is just below the world class level. You know, and he's fought well at that level, but this is the level you want to be at. This is the level where you make money. This is the level where you make your name. This is the level where, you know, you get the endorsement opportunities. This is the level where you got a lot of TV time. So it's important that he doesn't let the moment get the best of him. You know, he fights his fight. He fights his style, which may or may not be enough against a world-class fighter like Jermall Charlo, but you want to bring the best of yourself when you're in these moments.
What is the key to Charlo's power? We've seen it on display, especially, you know, the Julian Williams, the right uppercut from Hades, and it has improved fight in and fight out, including, again, at his first fight at 160. What's the key to Charlo's power?
Well, I think Jermall has been the more consistent puncher of the two brothers. You know, Jermall was not as consistent of a puncher earlier in his career. Either way, both guys have the great fundamentals. They are well-schooled, well-taught. Whoever taught these guys to fight, and obviously their ability comes into play as well. Whoever taught these guys to fight did an excellent job. I mean, these guys are so textbook. And on top of that, they have the incredible athleticism, natural power, speed,
size,
you know, size. So on top of that, you've taught these guys to box in such a proper way. They know all the fundamental answers. But then on top of that, they have the genetics and the natural talent to go along with it. And it makes them very difficult to beat.
Talk about the stakes in this fight, Steve. Where does the winner go?
Well, the winner becomes a mandatory in one of the alphabet organizations. We know that Canelo and Golovkin are the top of the division. They're probably going to fight each other before the year is out, maybe September. So obviously there'll be some waiting left for the winner of this fight. But the winner is in good position, and politics in boxing can get in the way. But if you're a mandatory, hopefully down the road, maybe you have to fight Jermall Charlo or Hugo Centeno.
The opening fight, 130-pound affair with Gervonta Davis. Bouncing back, even I say bounce back. He's undefeated, and yet not his greatest performance, self-admittedly, against Francisco Fonseca on a stage where he was supposed to seize that moment under the Mayweather-McGregor banner, the second biggest pay-per-view in history. He wants to be a pay-per-view star. He also, like Broner, has had issues outside of the ring. And he talks about rededicating himself. And he's only 23 years old and talks about focus and needing structure. Had to leave his hometown of Baltimore, went down to Florida to work with Kevin Cunningham as well. Gervonta Davis has all the tools to be the next pay-per-view star. How does he get there?
Well, he's got to, again, it's about consistency with him, too. He's got to put the whole package together. You always want to maximize your potential, and Gervonta has a lot of potential. There's a lot of skill. There's a big skill set there. But on top of that, the potential for stardom is also there. I was talking to some of the guys in the behind the scenes at Barclays Center. They told me Gervonta was the biggest ticket seller for the show.
Oh, really?
People come up from Baltimore
yeah.
like crazy for this guy. So he's got a homegrown fan base that buys tickets. He's a box office draw this early in his career. So it makes it all the more important for you to put the whole package together, because you have pay-per-view star potential when you are a box office draw and you put the talent together and you get the results necessary. But it comes down to him and his self-discipline and his consistency inside the gym and in his fights.
Well, we saw already some focus, obviously not missing weight this time, Steve. Against Jesus Cuellar, we've seen him in the past, who he lost his 126-pound title to Abner Mares, yet gets rewarded with this opportunity. Stylistically, this should be a barn burner.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Cuellar
for as long as it lasts.
Right. Cuellar makes for good fights. If Gervonta Davis is on his game, obviously you'd make him the favorite. Gervonta Davis, to me, is in a very lucky position because he dodged a bullet. He didn't make weight, and he lost his title on the scale last time out. And then he had a very flat performance and still won. And here he is fighting for a title in the same division that he couldn't make weight for last time. So this is a tremendous opportunity for him. The good news is that he's fighting a pretty good fighter who has to prove that he can fight at this weight.
Final thoughts on the card, a triple header Saturday night here at Barclays as this building continues to host the best in the sport.
Barclays Center continues to host the best in the sport, and Showtime Championship Boxing is the home of the best fighters in the sport. So I look forward to bringing everybody at home along with the team on the great show.
What are you looking forward to most? What the journalist Steve Farhood, what answers are you looking for?
Instead of the journalist Steve Farhood, I'll give an answer, the better Steve Farhood. B-E-T-T-O-R. You don't get many fights in boxing, many main events, that are virtually pick'em. This is virtually a pick'em fight. It would be great if all fights were pick'em, but that's not the way boxing works, let's face it. This is a pick'em fight with Vargas being a very slight favorite. It's going to be a very interesting main event. The stakes are very high. That's what has my attention.
So is the B-E-T-T-O-R the over?
I'm scoring, Paulie.
He's always over. Steve Farhood's always over.
I'm not talking.
We want you to, of course, join us on Saturday. The entire Showtime Championship Boxing squad will be at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. It is a triple header headlined by a catchweight fight, 144 pounds. Adrien Broner trying to avoid the first two-fight losing streak of his career against Jessie Vargas. We'll see Jamal Charlo, Hugo Centeno go at it in a pivotal 160-pound contest. And a piece of the 130-pound crown is up for grabs when undefeated knockout artist Gervonta Davis takes on former featherweight champion Jesus Cuellar. Again, it comes to you live Saturday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on Showtime.